what's the holdup?
I think the attorneys wanted to talk to them before they bring them out, Judge, just to punish them. Right, you want me to tell them to go ahead?
Yeah, it's time.
Okay.
There was time, there's been time for that the last 6 months. No, he can, come on in and have a seat in the jury box.
Speak up to the mic, right? Yeah. That's all there is to it. Keep the same respect. Give Robin.
All right, we're ready for the jury.
While you're here. Right? There's a justice for something. It's your hand right there.
Relax me, okay? Relax. We're ready.
All right.
Stand up. You may be seated. Call your next witness.
Your Honor, the state calls Charles Beltran.
Mr. Beltran, if you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You may put your hand down. You may proceed.
Judge, may we approach?
You may. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just have to send you out really quickly for just a few minutes and I'll have you back in the jury box.
All right.
you may be seated. All right, Mr. Beltran, you've been sworn in, and, your attorney is gonna ask you some questions for the record. We are outside the presence and hearing of the jury. Whichever one of you.
I will.
All right, that's Kenneth William for the, as Mr. Beltran's attorney. You may proceed, sir.
Mr. Beltran, you understand that you have also been charged previously in this offense, and you have a case arising out of this offense still pending, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that you have a right to testify and a right not to testify.
Yes, sir.
And we've explained to you that if you choose not to testify, no one can hold that against you. If you choose to testify, that is your sole right. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that what is required of you is truthful testimony. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And the only discussion you've had is that you give truthful testimony. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And if you say anything that can harm your case, you understand that can be used against you,
Sir.
okay? And Ms. McIntosh and myself has gone over with you quite extensively about your rights to testify and your rights not to testify. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you also understand that the state of Texas at this point has not made any promises or guarantees concerning your right to testify and your testimony. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And knowing all of that and understanding all of that, is it your desire to testify or not to testify?
To testify.
And has anyone forced you, threatened you, coerced you, done anything to you that would make you testify?
No, sir.
And you're giving your testimony freely and voluntarily.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions right now that you'd like to ask myself or Ms. McIntosh or Judge Mulder concerning your right to testify?
No, sir.
And you understand all that comes with you testifying?
Yes, sir.
Nothing further.
All right, Mr. Beltran, have you already dismissed the companion case?
I'm bringing that right now.
All right. Mr. Beltran, you understand that if you do testify, anything you say is on the record and can be used against you in any future prosecution if it's some other offense. You do understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And the state they could refile the murder case that they dismissed. That's an option as well. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Is there anything further from the state or the attorneys?
Nothing from the state judge.
All right, Mr. Beltran, understanding that it is your desire to still testify.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, now we're ready for the jury.
Good morning, Mr. Beltran. How are you this morning?
Alright,
All right. You a little nervous?
yes,
Okay, take a deep breath. You and I have met several times. Is that correct?
yes, ma'am.
I call you Chuck. Is that how you're called by most people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Charles Beltran, that's your full name, correct?
Charles Anthony Beltran.
Charles Anthony Beltran. Okay. Chuck, how old are you?
34.
34 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
And Chuck, tell me where you grew up.
Yeah, born and raised in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who were you raised by?
My mom,
Your mom? What's your mom's name?
Angela.
Angela?
Yes.
Okay. And who else did you live with growing up?
My grandmother,
What's your grandmother's name?
Santa.
Santa?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were you close with your mom?
It was rough.
It was rough?
Yeah.
What about your grandma?
We were pretty close.
Have any brothers and sisters?
Three
Three?
sisters.
3 sisters.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what 3 sisters, how are you the youngest, oldest? Where
I'm
do
the
you fit in?
oldest.
You're the oldest?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have 3 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Do you talk to your sisters much?
Not lately,
Okay.
but
Over the
We're close.
years, were you kind of close to them?
oh yeah, we were super close.
Okay. Now, you said you born and raised in Austin. What area, Austin?
South Austin.
South Austin?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you grow up in a nice neighborhood? For those that aren't familiar with South Austin,
No, it was.
tell the jury about the neighborhood you grew up in.
It was Section 8. Everybody just trying to figure out how to make it, I guess.
Okay.
We call it the hood.
The hood?
Yeah, it's just property,
Okay.
not much around.
And you lived there with your mom, your 3 sisters, and your grandma, is that right?
Well, at that time, it was just me and my younger sister, a year younger than me
Okay.
at the time, growing up.
What's your sister's name?
Jamie,
Jamie. And then what are your 2 other sisters' names?
Mariah, and Cynthia.
And where did Mariah and Cynthia stay?
Cynthia still stays with mom in Irving, and Mariah, I don't know where Mariah's at. I think she still stays in Dallas, but I'm not sure.
And growing up, did you go to elementary school?
Yes, ma'am.
It sounds like living, did your mom work?
She was young when she had us,
Okay.
so she was just trying to figure it out too. So we moved around a lot.
Bounced around a lot?
A lot.
Okay.
I never stayed in the school for that long at all.
So you never stayed in the same school very long?
No, not at all.
So went to several different elementary schools?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you guys live in some shelters?
Yeah.
Where was your dad?
He wasn't there.
He wasn't there at all?
No.
I mean, you've met him before, right?
Yeah, I met him like when I was like 13, 14.
So you weren't the kid that was getting to play soccer with the YMCA?
No,
You weren't getting to do AAU basketball?
no.
What kinds of things were you doing as an elementary kid? Just trying to make it?
Yeah, just
I mean, your mama didn't read you books growing up? Bedtime stories?
None of that.
None of that?
No, we were. No.
Okay. Did you graduate high school?
Oh man.
How far did you go in school?
Beginning of sophomore year.
You in sophomore year?
Yes.
And why'd you decide to drop out?
It was just. Mom was a single mom, and I just wanted her to focus on my sisters at that time. So I tried to leave the house and run away and try to make it on my own so she could take care of my sisters.
Okay, so you left the house, how old were you?
Like 15.
15?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so at that point, you're just trying to kind of make it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you didn't have, like you said, you didn't know your dad very well at all.
No,
I mean, if you ever met him in your early life.
not that I know of.
Okay. So you didn't have the, I guess, the privilege or the opportunity to have a strong male role model to really teach you how to be a man. Is that fair to say?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, you didn't have a Heath Harris or Valo Sadler or a Kenneth Witherspoon in your life to really help you get on the right direction.
Um,
At some point, you got into music.
yes, ma'am.
Tell the jury about your music career in Austin.
It was actually amazing in Austin. I made a name for myself. I always loved music. Something about the music that I'm pretty sure all y'all listen to music. So people take music differently. It was just a way to just express myself. Things I've seen, things I've been through, things I've done, I've heard about. So,
Okay. And your music in Austin, you guys, you said you had kind of a big following. What was the name of your group in Austin?
it's called Math Class.
Math Class?
Yes, ma'am.
And where would y'all play?
All over. Any venue that would take us on, South by Southwest.
What's South by Southwest for those?
It's a huge like a concert kind of festival thing that they do in Austin, Texas. It's really huge. Everybody from all over the world comes out there to take out the bands, and it's not just hip hop, it's all types of genres of music.
And it's a pretty big deal to get invited to go to South by
Oh,
Southwest.
it's a big deal.
Okay, so things are going well music career wise. At some point, Chuck, you start making some pretty dumb decisions. Is that fair to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you committed a robbery with a gun in Austin. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you were 17 at the time.
Yes, ma'am.
You got what's called shock probation. They sent you down to the penitentiary for a stint and then brought you back and put you on probation. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you mess up that probation?
Yes, ma'am.
How'd you mess it up?
Smoking weed, it's dirty.
Picking up weed cases?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and they revoked your probation and sent you
Send me back.
back to the pen.
Yes, ma'am.
How long did you stay in the pen then?
I'd say like 2.5 years. 2.5, almost 3.
And you'd already spent about a year in the pen before?
Yes, ma'am.
When you got out, do you remember how old you were when you got out?
Okay, 21,
Okay,
22.
so still young.
Yes, ma'am.
At that point, had you met Megan?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you know Megan before you went to the pen the first time?
No, she went to my same high school, and she heard about me with my music and stuff, and we knew like some of the same people, but we just never met until we finally got to meet.
And Megan, she's the mother of one of your children, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
How many children do you have?
2,
Okay, what are their names?
Emerald and Charlie.
And which one's older?
Emerald.
Both of them girls?
Yes, ma'am.
And Emerald, that's Megan's daughter, right?
Yes, ma'am.
After you got out of the pen, you and Megan kind of meet back up after being in high school together, right?
Say that one more time.
I'm sorry, after you got out of the pen the first time, you and Megan kind of meet back up, is that right? You and Megan, y'all, after going to high school together.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
We never went to high school together though. Like I never seen her in high school. Like after I left sophomore year. She was a freshman when I left.
okay,
So I was already gone, and then she ended up coming to the school.
okay.
So,
I gotcha. Now I get
so
you. Y'all just,
we never met until we finally met, like afterwards, after I got out.
okay. Y'all start a relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you love her?
Yes,
Okay, and you guys had a baby together.
Mm-hmm.
Answer yes or no, sir.
Oh yes, ma'am.
Because she's gotta take down what you're saying and and
Okay,
are
sorry.
written the same.
Sorry
Thank
about
you.
that.
Did you all live together?
Yes, ma'am.
And where did you live?
We stayed, we actually had 2 apartments. We had one, it's all south area. we stayed in one and then we ended up moving to another one, so, I mean, they're all in the same area.
Did your grandma stay with y'all?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're raising this baby together, and just be honest, Chuck, are you being really the dad that's there all the time, changing diapers, things of that nature early on?
No,
Okay, are you out partying, going to, focusing on your music and that kind of thing?
yes, ma'am, I'm still trying to take off in the music industry, so.
At some point, you pick up another case, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell the jury what happened.
I was at a party and somebody was fighting outside some apartments and the police gets called and we end up about to leave the party and I fit the description of somebody trying to fight outside the party. And so the cops asked me, hey, what are you doing around this area? I was like, hey, I was keeping this party. He was like, okay, well, we heard about a fight going on. Do you know anything about it? I said, no, I don't know nothing about it. He was like, okay, well, can I search you real quick? And I was like, yes, sir. You know, he was like, do you have anything on you? And I said, yes, I do. He was like, what do you have? And I said, I have a gun on me. And he said, he couldn't believe that I told him that. I was like, he's like, you sure? I was like, yes. I was like, I'm positive. He was like, where's it at? And I showed him and he's like, no, I have to take you to jail for this. And I was like, yes, sir.
And you knew that you weren't supposed to be carrying a gun because you were a felon, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so you went to the, eventually you went to the federal penitentiary. Initially you bonded out, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. While you're on bond for that, you picked up you were arrested for assault family violence, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was involving Megan?
Mm-hmm.
And,
yes, ma'am. Sorry.
thank you. Okay. That was involving Megan, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And tell the jury what happened there.
I was still dealing with like trying to blow up this music stuff, and it comes with dealing with females, other females. So I was kind of messing with females on the side of.
You were cheating on her,
Yes,
and she got mad.
yes, and it got brought up in a conversation. We were all drinking, and she was kind of arguing with me about it. My mom got into the mix of the whole thing. My grandma was defending me like, hey, like if you want to be with him, like this is what. Just gonna come with that. Maybe can take that lightly. They end up getting into a scuffle. I end up grabbing Meg and pushing her off my grandmother. Her cousin was there because she was living with us. She ended up calling the cops and the cops come in. We both get arrested. Me and Megan get arrested.
And Megan gets arrested too.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you spent basically a year in the county jail on that and pled no contest, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You pled guilty to the possession of the firearm case and spent what? How long in the federal penitentiary spent for that?
About 3.5.
3.5 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What was your plan when you got out of the federal penitentiary?
Well, me and Megan were planning on getting married and, you know, growing our family and stuff, but all that changed when I was locked up because she ended up beating her husband and had kids with him and stuff. So at that time, I didn't know what I was gonna do because I was planning this whole family with her. And at that time, my mother moved to Irving, so we were on the right to like get out of Austin for a little bit. I didn't know nobody else over there, just mother my kid. So I just planned to transition and start all the way over in Irving.
In Irving. And did you live with your mom some?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And where else did you live? Did you live in a halfway house for a time?
Yes, ma'am.
And was there a time period you were just kind of bouncing around trying to find places to live?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So not very stable. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no.
It sounds like maybe the most stable time you had was when you were living with Megan.
Yes, ma'am.
And that even includes your childhood.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Now, have you, prior to this situation that is going on now, were you still going down and seeing your daughter Emerald every once in a while?
Yes, ma'am.
There was nothing preventing you from doing that as far as legal or anything like that, protective order or anything else.
No, ma'am.
And Megan wanted you to see her.
Yes, ma'am.
Of course, her new boyfriend didn't really like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that why you didn't go see her very often?
It was other things too, like, I didn't like the fact that they wanted, like, to chaperone me with my daughter, so it kind of made it hard to.
Okay. And to be fair, I mean, you know, you haven't been around her much.
Yeah, well, I understand that now. At that time, I didn't. Young-minded, just wanted to be like, hey, I'm the father, I want her with me, you know, so.
Okay. At what point do you start hanging around Deep Ellum?
As I moved to Dallas, I'm just looking for jobs and stuff. I'm catching the dark train everywhere, bus everywhere, and I just meet a couple random people, and they just start telling me about. They're just interested in my like style, so they're like, "Hey, where you from? Like, you from California and stuff?" And I'm like, "No, I'm from Austin." And they're like, "Oh, have you ever been to Deep Ellum?" And I'm like, "No, I've never been to Deep Ellum. What is that?" And they're like, "Oh, it's like a baby 6th Street. Like, you'll love it. You'll love it. You should go out there." So one day I made it my business to check it out.
Okay, what'd you think of Deep Ellum?
I loved it. I was like, man, this is cool, you know. And it's crazy because one of the dudes I was incarcerated with in the federal penitentiary, he ended up bouncing at the club that I ended up working for. Like, so I ended up interacting with him, asking him questions. Like, hey, like, how'd you get to the job? You know, and he's like, oh, well, you need to talk to my manager, my boss, you know. And,
So that's how you got.
with him like that in there. I seen him every now and then, but yeah, when I noticed him, I was like, oh snap! Like,
Yeah. So he says you want a job here, go talk to the manager, and who did you talk to?
Kyle.
Okay, is that the first person besides this man that you just told us about that you met at on premise?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and who is Kyle?
He was manager for the on premise.
Kyle Williams,
Yes, ma'am.
and that's Lisa's son, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, he hired you, right?
Well, not off the rip.
Okay,
I was working a job, and he told me he didn't need nobody at that time right there. So he was like, man, just give me a call. He's like, if I have an open spot, then I'll fit you in. And of course, I was already thinking about like this would be good networking for my music. So like, I would love this to work this spot. So I kept on calling him, and then finally, like after like 3-4 weeks of me calling him, he finally was like, hey, like I need somebody. Can you come over? And I was like, cool, yeah.
okay, and what'd you do at on premise?
I did security.
And as far as security is concerned, you just make sure everybody's okay.
It was okay. I do front door, check IDs when they come in, and just if somebody's too drunk, we carry them out.
Things like that.
Make sure somebody gets
Okay.
home safe.
Did you meet, who all did you meet at on premise that became close to you, that you became close to later?
Dax, another friend named Brian, Val, Valerie,
And that's Kyle's
Kyle's,
girlfriend?
yeah, it wasn't at the time, but
Okay. Freddie? Did you meet
Freddie wasn't working there, but he should have been. He was there all the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, that becomes your group of people that you hang out with, right? And, at some point, do you meet Lisa?
Yes, ma'am.
And how'd you meet Lisa?
One day Kyle was telling me about like, hey, my mom, she has this little promotion thing that she's looking for somebody to promote for her, I guess something for her job. He was like, man, I think you're the perfect one because, of course, at the job I was already like, doing kind of some promotion for the job.
Okay,
And he was like, I think you're the perfect one, man. Like you're a people person. Like you always talk to everybody. Like you're like, man, like you feel perfect. He's like, I want you to meet her. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, like when she come, he was like, oh, she's gonna come sometime soon.
so you met her,
Mhm.
and how did that go?
It went well. She seen me and she was like, oh, you're the one I've been hearing about this whole time. And I'm like, if it's good, yes. It's me. And she's like, oh, okay, I give her a hug and, kiss on her cheek. It's my boss's mom, you know what I'm saying? So I respect her, like,
Yeah.
wholeheartedly.
Okay, so you guys meet it on premise,
Yes, ma'am.
and then what happens next? How does that relationship kind of move forward?
At that time, we were still at the bar, and she stayed the whole night. So that whole time I was just kind of like, checking on her. Hey, you good? You need something to drink? So she like, no. And at the end, we didn't get to talk towards the end of like when everybody left. That's when she told me about the whole promotion thing and stuff, and she's like, I think you would fit perfect for it. Like we should exchange numbers. I'll take you out to lunch. We'll talk about it more and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. We exchange numbers.
And so you guys exchange numbers.
Yes, ma'am.
Then what happened?
We just started texting every now and then. She would tell me, hey, good morning, have a good day. I'm like, okay, have a good day. And we planned to have a lunch, but we never linked up or met up right off the bat. It took a couple weeks.
Okay.
for-
When you guys are texting, what are y'all texting about?
Just like good morning, have a good day. Like how's your day today? And just
Anything about promotion, job stuff?
no, that it never came up until after we had the lunch thing. I guess she wanted to sit down and have a lunch.
Okay. And you guys sat down and had that lunch eventually. Do you remember where you went?
No, ma'am.
Was it McDonald's?
No, it wasn't on McDonald's.
What kind of restaurant was it? Was it nice? Was it
Yeah, it was.
Applebee's? Was it?
Nah, it wasn't. Restaurant I've never been to before.
It's a fancy restaurant.
Yeah, a little uppity.
Uppity.
Yeah, nothing I would go to on the regular.
And when you went to this lunch, how did that go?
I mean, it was good.
Did y'all conversate?
Yes, we talked about just gave her a backstory of who I was. She was interested in who I was because I guess Kyle was telling her about like me just coming out and trying to build this music career and stuff. So that she was interested in that. So we started talking about all that.
Did you know what she did for a living at that time?
I think she told me at the lunch, but no, not.
I mean, you didn't really know.
Not really know like the whole the depth of what she did.
What kind of promotion was she talking to you about doing?
It's just reaching out to people about like the business, I guess. I don't know, like we talked about it a little bit, but it was just I think that wasn't just the sole purpose of like that lunch.
Okay, what do you think? What else do you think the purpose of that lunch was?
I think she just wanted to get to know me, just meet up with me.
And did you drive to that lunch, meet her there? How did that happen?
She picked me up.
Okay, did you have a car at that time?
No, ma'am.
And where'd she pick you up at?
At my girlfriend's house at the time.
Okay. And after you all left there, did she drop you back off?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anything happen?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did it seem like y'all would hang out again?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
And what happened next?
After-
Did y'all hang out some more?
Yes, we had more lunches, more dinners.
Did the tone of the lunches and dinners seem to kind of shift from getting to know you to really wanting to get to know you, or how did that work?
Yeah, we just a little bond, we got close to each other. We got comfortable with each other.
Okay. Did it become flirtatious?
Not at the beginning, but after like 3 or 4 lunches and dinners, then it started getting a little.
Okay. And about 3 or 4 lunches in, it starts getting a little what?
Flirtatious.
Okay. And at some point, did y'all get physical?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in what way? Tell the jury about it.
Well, at the dinner, we ended up having some drinks and stuff, and drinks to make you feel more comfortable and stuff, and so we're just talking, getting to know each other more, just talking, and as we're leaving the dinner, she's dropping me off at my girlfriend's house, and she just approaches me like, hey, she's just like, you a blowjob. And I'm like, what? You know, she was like, yes, like, I'm really good at it. Like, you should let me give you a blowjob. And I'm just like, man, I'm not taking it serious because I'm like, man, you're my boss's mom, you know? I'm like, She's like, I think she knew what I was thinking, so she was like, look, it'll be our little secret. Nobody has to know. Be us. I was like, okay.
So, you let her give you oral sex?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that was the first time. And how many dinners in do you think that was?
Like 4.
Okay. Did these dinners and contact and texting continue?
Oh, yeah.
And did the same type of sexual contact continue?
Yes, ma'am.
And was she letting you drive her car?
Yes, after that whole ordeal right there, she knew I didn't have no car, so she would be like, hey, like, I know you don't have a car, I know you want to move around and stuff, like, because she stayed in Mesquite, so where we stayed at was like downtown. Me and my girlfriend stayed downtown, so she'll have to pass downtown to get to her job. So she was like, hey, like, it just makes sense for me to come pick you up, you drop me off at the job, and you can just keep the car for the day for whatever you have to do.
Okay. At some point, did you go out to her house in Kensington?
Yes, ma'am.
And who was living out there when you went out there?
It was her and her kids and her brother.
Did you have much interaction with them at all?
Not really, just met them.
Did Lisa ever talk about any problems in that house with you?
As far as,
Like with your brother or anything like that?
no.
Okay. Did she seem close to her daughter Chelsea? Did she talk about Chelsea at all?
Nah, it was, I mean, the dynamic of the house was kind of weird. It's like they kind of like controlled the whole, like we just went to her room.
Y'all just went to her room?
Yeah, like that was like her little
Okay.
area.
And at some point, you said you didn't talk to Chelsea or Jimmy much at all, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
At some point, did she have you come help them move out?
Yes, ma'am.
Did she tell you they were moving out before? I mean, obviously she told you to come over and help move, but had y'all discussed them moving out before?
No, she just told me that they wanted to move and she was gonna get a house for them.
Okay, and she helped them get a house in Florida, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it wasn't like a conversation before that, hey, I'm having my family move out, you move in.
No.
Okay. At some point, after they moved, did you have that conversation about moving in there?
Yes, ma'am.
And tell the jury, kind of what that conversation was like.
Well, we actually drove to Tampa together to
Okay.
look at the house that she was potentially wanting to buy for the kids.
So you actually went to Florida with her to kind of help pick that house up.
Yes, ma'am.
And did y'all go do other
Stuff, and she was like, "Hey, like, around this time, we were both using that one car." So she was like, "You know what? Like, we can't keep on doing this. Like, I'm gonna get this check and we'll get you this car so you can have a car to move around in." And
Did you ask her to buy you that car?
No, ma'am.
She offered.
Yes, ma'am.
That was a pretty nice car, wasn't it?
Yes.
Do you know how much it cost?
A little under like 30,000.
Okay. And so she bought you that car. You guys go to Tampa, pick out the house for the family, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you come back, and y'all are still hanging out, talking, dinners, things like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever pay for dinner?
Ma'am.
Was it all Lisa?
All these.
What happened to the promotion thing?
It never got brought up again.
At what point did she ask you to move in?
So after me and my homeboys helped them move out, of course she's there by herself now, and we have another dinner we always have these dinners and stuff, so we have another dinner, and she was like, hey, I really think you should move in, you know, like, I love what we have, like, it can still be our little secret, you know, you can still do what you wanna do, but I just want you to move in, you know, like, I think it would be nice, you know, and of course I was talking to her about my music and stuff, so she was like, you can build a studio in there, you know, like, there's a pool in the backyard, like, I think it will work out perfect, so at the beginning I was like, I didn't wanna do the whole move thing, because of course I had my girlfriend, and just my lifestyle I was living, I just didn't feel comfortable moving in there, so.
So when you say lifestyle you were living, kind of tell the jury what that was.
I mean, the club lifestyle, just working at a club and of course just
Partying,
partying, nightlife.
late nights,
Yes, late night, I mean,
girls.
yes,
I mean, you had your girlfriend Carmen, but you had other girls too that you would talk to.
yes, ma'am.
In fact, you kind of got in a little bit of, maybe not trouble, but talked to about your security role because you were talking to a lot of women while you were at work. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, that place is a huge state. I mean, a lot of people come, and if you're not living that type of lifestyle, you wouldn't really know. But the club lifestyle and the downtown lifestyle is fun. It's amazing. Like everybody comes to Deep Ellum, uptown.
Okay. And did you finally, I mean, why did you end up agreeing if you weren't sure about it?
Just talk to my homeboys and stuff. I'm like, hey man, they all know Lisa too. So, you know, I'm just talking to the boys. We're chilling. I'm like, hey man, I'm like, bro, Lisa wants me to move in, and they're like, for real? And I'm like, yeah, like man, like, what do you think I should do? And they're like, shit, man, why not? You know, like, shit, you know. Excuse my French.
You're okay. Continue.
Yeah, so they're like, yeah, like, why not? You know, like, she's already paying for everything.
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead,
she's-
go ahead and take it.
She's paying for everything for you.
Yeah, she just bought me this nice car.
Shoes, like shoes, Jordans, things like that.
Oh yeah, we go shopping. out to eat.
Clothes. So you end up moving in, and does she buy the stuff for a studio for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that was good. You hadn't had an opportunity to record in a while, is that right?
Well, I had recorded couple times, but due to like the producing that they were doing, I feel like they were just taking my money, and I wasn't making that much money at that time. I was working at Twisted Root,
Okay.
so it was like all my money was going to the studio, and the production wasn't good. So I was like, man, I could just do this on my own.
When you move in, how is it at first?
It was fun. I mean, we had fun.
Okay. What y'all do? What do you mean when you had fun? How was it?
We just, I mean, Lisa was just living this like lifestyle that wasn't this before until we met. You know, like we were just always like drinking, having fun. Like I'll bring my homeboys over. Like she loved like having this company now. You know, I felt like before that, her kids and the brother that was living there, it wasn't. She just stayed like cooped up in her room.
Okay.
So like now she's free. She could be like herself. You know.
So she's drinking with you guys, and you're bringing your homeboys over. Y'all are hanging out, all that.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a pool in the back.
Pool in the bag.
Had you ever lived like that before?
No, ma'am.
Ever had a nice house like that?
Never lived in a house before ever.
And so it was nice.
Oh yes.
Were you all still kind of having the same type of sexual relationship that you were having before?
Yes, ma'am.
And you mentioned before that, I mean, you still were doing your thing, and that was, you had other women that you talked to.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you bring them over to the house?
Yes, ma'am.
And did Lisa know that?
Yes, ma'am.
When you brought them over, did y'all all hang out together, or was it just you hanging out with the women?
I was just hanging around with them. Like we'll just be in the studio.
At that point in time, she was fine with that, is that fair to say?
Yes, ma'am.
At some point, so, other than you, did you know her to have any other, I guess, romantic relationships? Was she dating?
She was dating.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And, at some point, did she start bringing Nina around?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long do you think you had lived there, before you heard about Nina or met Nina?
I'd say about 2 months.
Okay, it's not very long?
Not very long.
And, what did you hear about Nina?
She would just be on Face. I didn't really like hearing anything about her. She would just be on FaceTime sometimes, and as I said, Lisa was just loving like this whole thing that was happening at her house. So she would be like on FaceTime, like, hey, like look at my boo, my little thing, you know. And I'll be on the camera, hey, you know. And
She was proud of you.
yes,
Did you make her feel young?
yes, ma'am.
And all your homeboys and all that coming over, same thing?
Yeah, like we'll go to the club. I'll take them to the club sometimes. And
When you say take them to the club, are you talking about Lisa and Nina?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And, did you meet Nina at some point?
Yes, ma'am.
And, what'd you think of Nina when you met her?
Well, the whole point of me and Nina was Lisa kind of set it up for me and Nina to like have like intercourse.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, is that the first time you met her? Is what you're describing is when Lisa kind of set it up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and, tell me when you mean that Lisa set that up, did she talk to you about Nina before?
Yeah, like as I was doing the video chat with her every now and then, she was telling me like, hey, like if you love what we got going on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a friend that would love, you know, to be a part of our little thing, you know?
Okay.
So she was like,
And did you know at that time that Lisa and Nina were, I guess, dating? Or in that type of relationship?
not that I know of.
Okay. So when she said that Nina, you know, would be interested too, did you take that as the three of y'all together, or what did you take that as?
Well, I mean, she made it clear that she's like, I know that you like us, our dynamic of like me buying you stuff and me giving you the sexual favors, you know, for these things I'm giving you, you know. If you think I'm doing this, Nina would be like, I'm doing this for real, you know.
What do you mean for real, for real?
I guess because she was like, she had more money, I guess.
Okay. So she's basically telling you, if you like this, Nina's got more money, you should pursue her.
Yes, ma'am.
And this was early on, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when you met Nina, did you guys have sex?
Yes, ma'am.
And, was Lisa okay with that at that time?
Yeah, I mean, she set the whole thing up.
Okay. As things progressed, did you learn that Lisa and Nina were in a relationship together?
I mean, they will always be together, but I didn't know if they were like together like that. They never told me anything.
They never told you?
No, ma'am.
Did you know that they got married at some point?
Yes, ma'am.
And, you said that they were always together?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Nina didn't live here, right? Where did Nina live?
I think Pennsylvania.
But she would come down frequently to visit Dallas?
Yes, ma'am. She'll come stay weekends and stuff.
Let's talk about, was there a moment in time, or is there a moment that, I guess the three of y'all kind of, you know, made sort of a informal pact? Y'all didn't have a ceremony or anything, but just a promise to each other, y'all gonna take care of each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, your plans were just stay there, Lisa and Nina were doing their thing, you would do their thing with them sometimes,
Yes, ma'am.
and then y'all would just take care of each other,
Yes, ma'am.
have each other's backs,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? In fact, they bought you a Santa Muerta necklace,
Mm-hmm.
and they each had one too. Let's talk just a little bit about Santa Muerta. That is something that you know about and practice too, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that something your grandmother taught you?
Growing up, I've heard about it, but I just never really practiced it
Okay.
until later on.
Is that something, were you super into it, or was it just kind of a thing?
Well, she's like a saint, it's a mother. So of course I had trouble with my mom and stuff. So I just wanted something close to home, so I could, just practice and that's what it was. That's all. I got close to it and practiced it, prayed.
Did you kind of tell Lisa and Nina about some of the Santa Muerta stuff that you practiced?
We didn't really talk about it that much. They just see me sometimes like praying and I think it's just they wanted to like act like they were part of doing it because I was praying to it. So
Okay. At some point, did you and Nina and Lisa all three sleep together?
yes, ma'am.
And did that happen often?
You know,
Okay. As far as your sexual relationship with Lisa, was that something that you were talking about to all your homeboys and things like that, or is that something you kind of kept to yourself?
no, I kept it. So I didn't want my boss to find out. That I was having this relationship with her mom.
And everybody suspected them.
Yeah, they would be like, man, like she ain't just giving you all that stuff for nothing, bro. Like you're doing something, And I'm like, oh man, we just love each other. She's just cool, really cool.
Did you become aware that Lisa and Nina took your last name?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you become aware of that?
They told me.
They told you?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it something you asked them to do?
No, ma'am.
What did you think? What did you think about that?
There was conversations of them bringing it up, talking about it, but I didn't take it serious. Yeah. Until they came back and told me they got married.
That they got married?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then, let's fast forward a little bit. So this happened, what day did this happen?
With
The Maricella's murder?
on the 5th.
On the 5th
Yes, ma'am.
of?
October.
Let's go back then to kind of the first part of the fall in September, okay? Was there a time that this kind of arrangement where you can bring any women over you want and all of that, did that kind of change? Did Lisa express to you something different?
Yeah, after the whole the threesome we had, it started like shifting to they just wanted it to be us at that house.
And how did you feel about that?
I told her straight up, I thought we agreed that I could just do what I wanted to. And like she said, we hasn't given it yet, but I guess feelings started getting involved after the whole intercourse and stuff.
Did she want to continue having that same type of relationship, that same type of threesome?
Yeah, she wanted to continue. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were there times that you, like, how did you handle that in the house? If you saw them in the house, would they say things to you? How would you know that they wanted to have that kind of relationship?
They would just always walk around like naked and these little lingeries and
Is that how things started with Lisa? Did Lisa always walk around in lingerie and things like that when you first moved in?
no, I think like there were times she started getting comfortable.
Okay. Did you just kind of avoid it?
Yes, I mean, of course I would sometimes, but I avoid it most of the time. So.
So when the feelings started getting involved, were those Lisa's words about why she didn't want women coming over anymore? Why did she tell you?
Oh, we just had dinner, like they were cooking and stuff, and we had dinner. And it was just a talk that got brought up that it should just be us in the house. She wanted it just be us three.
Was that
As far as women goes, like my homeboys would still come for the studio and stuff, but as far as women goes, she didn't.
she didn't want any more women over? Did you still bring women over?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll talk about that in just a minute. Was there a time that you slept with Nina again?
Yes, ma'am.
And tell me kind of how that happened.
I came home one day. I didn't even know Nina was there. Nina was in the house. I came in, and every time we see each other, they always do this like flirtatious thing. Like I was their little boy toy thing, you know. So they always give me a whole bunch of love and hugs and kisses, and so I mean, one thing led to the next. We ended up having sex, and she told me about Lisa. I really tried to refrain from doing so much with Lisa because, like I said, I couldn't face my boss too much, knowing that I was doing this with his mom. So,
And what did Nina say?
Nina was just telling me like, hey, like, you know, Lisa really loves you. Like, she wants to have more interaction with you in this sense. Like, you should give her that. Like, she does everything for you. You know, like you should. And me and Lisa had conversations about this many times. I told her why I didn't want to get involved in that because of her son. So I was kind of pissed at the whole conversation about Nina telling me this about Lisa. So I tell Lisa, I kind of confront her about it. I'm like, hey Lisa, I'm like, man, why are you telling Nina about, you know what I'm saying, us doing this thing? Like, I told you what's up, like, and I guess me telling her about that, like, she gets pissed at Nina.
So, did she get angry? Did you tell her that you and Nina had slept together without her?
I think so.
Okay. Or do you know how she found that out? Okay, and how did
I don't know if Nina told her or if I told her like, hey, like while I was doing this, like.
Okay. And at that point, how did she react to learning that you and Nina slept together without her?
She got mad.
Okay, and who'd she get mad at?
Nina.
How did she treat Nina?
She got pissed. She told Nina not to talk to me no more.
And so you'd walk in the house and Nina would be there, and what would happen?
I mean, she wouldn't even look at me. Like, it was crazy. I was like, what the hell is going on?
You're okay.
Oh, okay.
I will say, if you could refrain from using profanity,
Yes,
that would be better.
Yes, ma'am.
But if it slips out, then we'll move on, okay? So, I mean, had you ever seen her like that before?
Who? Lisa?
Lisa?
No, ma'am.
Was this before or after she had plastic surgery?
This was before.
Before, okay, and in September, in fact, on September 11th, she had plastic surgery. She got like a facelift and like a thigh, I'm not sure what it is, a thigh lift, I guess. Were you there at the hospital when she had those procedures done?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you supposed to stay with her the whole time at the hospital?
Yes.
And what'd you do?
I left.
Where'd you go?
Go to the club, work, party.
Okay. How did Lisa feel about that?
She was pissed. She was mad.
I mean, here she's been doing all this stuff for you, and you're just kind of,
I couldn't be there for her to do that little surgery.
okay. Did you pick her up?
Yes, ma'am.
You and Dax picked her up? Or is it just you?
I don't know if that's just with me.
Okay.
Somebody came with me though. We came after like the whole party and stuff. Somebody came with me to come visit her while she was still there.
Okay. And did you take her home?
Yes, ma'am.
And you recall like how quickly she went back to work?
No, she was in the bed for a minute though. I would pick up her medication though, her prescriptions, and take them to her and stuff like that.
Okay, and she was on some kind of pain medication?
Yes, ma'am.
Did she do any traveling that you were aware of, during that time? Did she go anywhere?
It's her.
Yeah, just her and Nina, I'm sorry, her and Nina.
I think so. I don't know. I know me and her took a trip to New Orleans one time.
Was that after the surgery?
Oh no, this is before.
Okay.
Oh, you talking about after the surgery?
Yeah, after the surgery.
Not that I recall.
Okay. So October 3rd, you had a show, is that right, in Arkansas?
Yes, ma'am.
And tell the jury just a little bit about the show.
It was fun. I've been waiting to get into the music industry for a minute, and just due to like the club and stuff, and that took most of my time. So I wasn't really focused on music like that until I started getting back into it. And me and Dax were talking about it because he's from Arkansas, so he learned about his friend was opening up for the rapper that was the headline of the party. So he reached out to me. He was like, "Hey man, you should do the show." And I was like, "Well, hit him up, get me on there, you know." And end up booking it, and he gets me on.
So you get on, you're gonna open for an act in Camden, right? And you go down there with in a sprinter van with Dax and Freddie and Brian and Jordan.
Yes, I tell Lisa about it, and like they're all stuff too.
Okay.
She been investing in my music stuff, so
Okay. And by investing in your music stuff, what's she doing?
I mean she bought all my studio equipment. At the time now I know what she is, paralegal, and you know,
What do you think she was? You said a paralegal?
well yeah, that's what she told me.
Okay. And Nina was a,
A lawyer.
okay. And you knew that back then, that they both were in the legal field?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. They let you shoot videos in their driveway, you know, women crawling on your cars, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, they were all down with the music stuff. Like, they helped me out because I don't know anything about the legal stuff. So they helped me out with like some of the beats I have to purchase for the song. Like, I can't use certain. I can only sell so many units, and I didn't know nothing about none of this stuff. So they helped me in that area. Like, I would send them like the documents of the contracts that I had to sign for the beats that I'm purchasing.
Okay.
So
They would help, they would take
they
care
were
of
all
all that
yeah,
kind
they're
of
all
stuff.
yes, ma'am. They're all
Hold on,
yes,
Sorry,
ma'am.
Judge.
you have to, Ms. Pippin, you have to wait till he's done with his answer to ask the question, and then you have to wait till she's completely done asking the question before you answer. Okay?
Sorry.
That's all right.
Yes, Your Honor. So they helped you with all the kind of legal stuff, paperwork, things like that. They took care of all that for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So the show, Lisa and Nina go to, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And they followed behind y'all in the van.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Who paid for that trip?
Lisa and
And you get down there on the 2nd, October 2nd, is that right?
yes, ma'am.
Y'all spent Friday night there at the hotel?
Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
And,
Did y'all have a good time?
it was fun.
Everybody drinking?
We had our own section, bottles. I mean, the whole
VIP experience?
VIP experiences, everything.
And Lisa was there, Nina was there. Was Lisa walking around?
Walking around.
Walking around the club, able to move around? Okay.
Well, she was, as far as like just moving
Just being
around.
able to walk. I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
talking about
Oh, you're
these.
talking about because of surgery?
Yeah, because of
Oh, yes,
surgery.
ma'am, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So her surgery wasn't getting in the way of her good time.
Oh, no, she a soldier. She gonna make it.
She says she's a soldier?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, she can make it.
Yeah,
She can power through that stuff.
oh, yeah, she wants to get something done. She gonna get it done.
How'd the show go?
It went good. We had a lot of fun. Like I said,
Like how did your part of the show go?
oh, it went good. Me and Freddie performed.
Okay. And That night, did Lisa and Nina want you to go to their room?
Well, that was the plan, like, they rented 3 rooms, so it was 2 rooms was supposed to be split between my homeboys, and then the other room was supposed to be us 3.
Okay. And did you go spend some time with them in their room for a little while?
We'll go in there, I'll tell the boys, like, come on, let's go take a shower and stuff, but that wasn't the majority of the time I spent with my boys.
Okay, you ended up spending the night in one of the guys' rooms, right? You guys go back home the next day,
Mm-hmm.
and that's,
Sir, you have to answer out
Oh,
loud
yeah.
with words.
So, yes, ma'am.
and you go back to Kensington? The house on Kensington in Mesquite?
Mesquite, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that's on October 4th, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember what time you got back?
Mm-hmm.
Ish?
We left early because checkout was at 12, so it took about an hour or 2. So I'd say about like 3-ish, 4-ish.
Okay. What did you do after that?
When we got to the house, we just unpacked. Everybody was just ready to kind of like get back to doing what they do. Jordan hopped in his car and left. Then he hopped in his car, burnt off, and me and Dax were just talking about when we can celebrate, go out.
So everybody else, you know, they're getting ready for the next day, they're done partying for the weekend, you and Dax wanna go celebrate some more.
Yes,
And, did you guys go down to Deep Elm together?
yes, ma'am.
Did you go pick him up at his place?
Yes, ma'am.
And, did he live at the Manor House?
Yes, ma'am.
That's kinda downtown-ish
It is
area?
down.
And you pick him up, y'all go out, do you remember about what time you get there?
Say about 11.
11-ish? Okay. Did you invite Nina and Lisa to go with you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, did they say anything about wanting to go with you or anything like that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Lisa had to work the next day, right? On Monday?
Yeah,
You don't know?
no, I didn't know her schedule like that, so.
Okay. You get there about 11 p.m. What do you guys do?
We go hit up all our bars that we hit up. This is our like community right here.
Everybody knows you down there.
Everybody knows us down there.
Okay.
Like, this is where we're at every weekend for the last 2-3 years. Like literally, like everybody knows us down there.
Okay. And to this day, if I go down there, I'm gonna find Dax on the weekends.
You can see him right there, same spot,
Same spot.
same spot where you'll see me at every weekend.
A lot of people know you. A lot of people have talked with you a lot. And at some point, you guys were, I think, in Punk Society.
Yes, ma'am.
And did your mother of your younger child come in?
Yes, ma'am.
Jasmine?
Yes, ma'am.
And you saw her.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you guys?
You have to use words.
I'm so sorry, ma'am.
Just follow the instruction and use words when you answer, please.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
When you saw her, what did you guys do?
When I seen Jasmine,
Yes.
but we wasn't seeing eye to eye at this time.
Why weren't you seeing eye to eye?
Just me and my lifestyle, partying and stuff. She wanted me to be there more, and I just wanted to do my thing. So we'll have this little
So y'all got into an argument.
yeah, little arguments and stuff.
This was about your daughter, right?
Yes.
Were you aware that some paperwork had been filed with the family court on your behalf to, I guess, see your daughter more?
I didn't know until I came here.
Okay, so you didn't know that there was a filing on your behalf, like a suit affecting parent-child relationship? I know that sounds super legal. Did you know that that had been filed on your behalf?
No, ma'am.
But you and Jasmine were seeing eye to eye because she wants you to be that dad.
Yes, ma'am.
She wants you to take the kid to soccer practice or whatever, or be there for birthdays, be there every day, that kind of dad.
Well, I think she wanted more out of me and us too. You know, like me and her.
And she wanted to be with you.
Yes.
Jasmine was always in love with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so y'all weren't seeing eye to eye on that either.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir. You're okay. You guys weren't seeing eye to eye on that, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so you skipped out of there, you didn't wanna talk to her, you didn't wanna have any kinda, conversation about that night?
No, I'm not for the negative energy. I don't want to argue with you, conversate about this stuff. So when I see her, I turn around like I already know where you can go, especially with her. She can get real
She
crazy.
didn't get loud,
Yes.
okay? And, typically when you run into conflict and you run into problems, what is your MO? What is it that you do?
I run.
You don't face it, do you?
No, not at all.
Okay, so you guys skip out of Punk Society, kind of go out on the back, and then y'all are kind of standing on the sidewalk. What happens next?
That's when we see Marcella.
Tell a jury about that. How did that go down?
Well, as soon as we left Punk, we walked outside the back. Cause she was where the mother of my child was. How the bar set up is like right by the front door, so I didn't want to pass her to go out. So we went through the back, then I came through the front, and we're on the side street. We're just chilling, chopping it up, talking. Dax ends up seeing one of his homeboys. Dax ends up seeing one of his friends, and we're just out there smoking a cigarette, talking to each other, and Marcella just walks by.
Okay, and on this map right here, here's off premise. Where's Punk Society? Do I go this way?
No, to the right,
Right there?
no. Oh yeah, yes ma'am.
Right there.
It's the corner where you were at the first time. The
This
corner, no.
I haven't been down to development a long
Well,
time.
okay, do you see the number 201? It has a
201.
201 on top. It's that
Right there.
corner. Yes ma'am.
Okay, right there at that corner.
Yes ma'am.
Okay, so
So,
y'all are standing out there.
oh no, that's where you asked where Punk was at. That's Punk.
That's Punk.
Yes,
Okay, where were you standing
We were
when you
standing-
saw Maricela?
Across the street from,
Across the street over here?
like a little more where it says Dada Dallas,
Right there.
like in between that two, like in the middle.
In that area?
In the middle between like the Dada and like the Rodeo Dallas kind of, it's like right.
Right
Yeah,
there,
yes ma'am.
where that white car is.
Yes ma'am.
Alright, so you guys are standing there. Where do you see Maricela?
She walks from like the opposite way from the Harmony or whatever was it? What is it?
Armory DE?
Yes ma'am. She walked from that way.
So she's walking towards you,
Yes ma'am. Towards me.
okay? And you and Dax are standing there smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, she's talking.
And what happens?
She walks by and
Y'all make eye contact?
make eye contact. And she smiles at me. I smile at her, and she walks by. I think I might even said, "Hey, have a good night" or something. You know, she walks by. She passes us up, and then she turns around and comes back. She started asking about, "Hey, like, do any of y'all know where to find some weed?"
Okay, she's looking for some weed.
Yeah, she's looking for some weed.
When she walked past you the first time, could you tell, I mean, and you're a ladies man, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know how to flirt, you know how to talk to women at bars. Was it obvious the way y'all exchanged looks? Was it that kind of look,
Yes, ma'am.
where you guys are attracted to each other?
Yes, ma'am.
Think she's pretty,
Yes, ma'am.
she thinks you're cute,
Yes, ma'am.
and then she turns back around to come talk to you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, ma'am.
You guys talked, she asked you for some weed, y'all chatted up for a while. What was the conversation like?
She was just talking about, you know where to find some weed. She just wanted to smoke.
Okay. Y'all chat there for a little while, what kind of, I mean, was it a good conversation?
I mean, it was just about the whole weed situation. She wanted to smoke, and I was just like, hey, like, I was like, I got some, you know, like, what are you looking for? And she was like, I'm just looking to smoke. And I was like, okay, like, we can smoke.
Okay. And, you, go ahead, Charles. So you guys are gonna go smoke, where are you gonna go smoke?
In my car.
Okay, so you walk her to your car. Was she stumbling around or anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you guys walk to the car, y'all sit in the car, do y'all talk for a while?
Yes, ma'am.
How long?
About, I don't know. We're talking for just getting to know each other.
Okay, do you guys smoke some weed?
Not there.
What did you do next?
We just talked about hanging out. So she wanted to hang out. I had a bottle in the car. She wanted to drink some more. So we went to go get some chasers and mixers. We went to the store.
And the store's kind of down there, that 7-Eleven is near Deep Ellum, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
At what point did you guys decide to go back to your house?
Well, we made it before we even left to the 7-Eleven. We had made the decision.
Did you know you were leaving Dax there?
Yeah, I texted him actually.
Okay,
Told him.
and what'd you tell him?
I was just like, cause I mean, it's just a guy code to not leave your homeboy, like for a female, you know, like. Plus we came with each other too, so I'm texting him like, hey man, I was like, man, I got this girl, she wants to hook up. I'm like, you wanna, I could pick you up afterwards or something, and you know, like, is it cool if I can meet you afterwards or something? He's like, man, yeah, go do your thing, you know.
Okay, so, go to 7-Eleven, you guys go to Mesquite, and this was her suggestion too, she wanted to hang out, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Going to parties for one.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you feel about taking her back to Mesquite that night?
I didn't think nothing of it because this is,
Yeah, why did you guys go to Mesquite instead of back to her place?
well, the conversation we had in the car, she was telling me that she had a room, and I was trying to go back to her room, but she told me that she had somebody there, she didn't want to go back to her room and stuff. She was like, I prefer going to your spot.
So you take it back to your spot, you get there, were Nina and Lisa awake at that time that you're aware of?
I don't know if they're awake or not, but I know they were there, I don't know if they're awake or not.
Okay, so it's not like you walk in and tell them, hey, I've got a woman here or anything like that?
No, ma'am.
In fact, since that conversation that you had, about, hey, we just want it to be us, did you, I guess, try to be a little more discreet about when you had women over? When I say discreet, I mean secretive, like, did you try to make sure that maybe Lisa's bedroom door was shut, or, you know, that she wasn't out, walking around while you brought these women home?
Well, after the conversation, because I told her about the, our agreement was I could still do what I wanted to do.
Right.
So I think she just accepted.
Okay.
But she still wanted me there at the house, so I don't think she wanted to. She just
To write
accepted
the
it.
vote on that.
Yeah, I think she just accepted it.
Now, when we're talking about bringing women home, is it every night?
Not every night.
Okay, sometimes you go other places?
Yeah, I stayed at their houses or something, but
Sometimes you bring some people over?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, in fact, you brought Medlin over, once or twice?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here's the garage right here. Is this the way that you guys came in?
Yes, ma'am.
And, you go through the garage into the dining area, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you kind of walk through here. Which one of these is your bedroom? This one or this one?
The one all the way to the end, to the corner, the right corner.
This one?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you, I can't see which room that is, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. And this is State's Exhibit 179. So it's this corner bedroom right there, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is your studio?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you walk through here, and when you come to this corner, did you look and see if that bedroom door was open or closed?
Yeah, I looked. It was
Okay.
closed.
It was closed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you brought Maricela in your bedroom,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, and then what did you do?
What I do with, anytime I bring a girl over, I turn my music on, cause I know we're about to.
Well, you know you're about to, but I mean, you don't know that for a fact, do you? That's what your intent is, right?
Well, it's not my intent, it always just ends up happening, we just end up feeling for each other, and
Okay,
ends up leading to that,
okay, so you're playing some music, y'all drinking some more?
drinking. smoking.
And, what was Maricela like talking to her?
I mean, she was cool, she was real cool, funny, I mean.
Nice,
Yes. Yes,
sweet,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
did you wanna meet back up with her again?
Yeah, we actually had a conversation about linking up, cause she was telling me about the flight that she was supposed to take and all this stuff, so. We were talking about exchanging info and meeting up again.
And, I may approach.
You may.
Now, States 179, that's a floor map of your, that's up on the screen right now. That's just kind of a floor plan of the Kensington house, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this the same floor map? Does it appear to be the same thing? Is that up there?
Yes, ma'am.
Chuck, I want you to take this marker and draw for me in your bedroom where your bed is. Okay, and just label that bed for me. And then what do you have right there in that, on that wall?
It's like a dresser, like a TV on here.
Okay. You're on it, and does that look like an accurate representation of your bedroom furniture?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any tables or anything else?
I had
You gonna draw that on there?
this is like a mirror right here. And I had like a side little,
Little side table?
yeah, like a little dresser thing.
Okay. Does that look like an accurate representation of your bedroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, your Honor, state moves to offer states 334 for all purposes.
No objection, please.
All right, state exhibit number 334 diagram is admitted for all purposes.
So your bed's right there,
Yes, ma'am.
and that's your TV stand. This is kind of the door to your bedroom area, little table right there, and that's
No,
your
that's
closet.
that's a mirror on the wall, on the, yes, ma'am.
That's the mirror, I'm sorry, that's the mirror, and this is your little bedside table, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you guys are drinking, listening to music, hanging out. What happens next? Fall asleep,
No, we end up. having-
y'all have sex,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, and, after you have sex, what happens next?
We chill, chop it up, talk for a little bit, smoke a cigarette. Well, I smoke a cigarette. And,
Did she smoke cigarettes?
no, she didn't.
She didn't smoke any cigarettes while you were there?
Not around me.
And smoke cigarettes, talk, chat a little bit, then what?
Fell asleep.
Were you aware that she had to leave the next day to catch a flight?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and was it your plan to wake her up and take her back wherever she needed to be?
I mean, at that time, we wasn't even thinking about any of that.
You didn't have a plan?
No.
So you're asleep. Tell me what happens next.
I wake up to her screaming, saying, "Help me, help me." And I look up and it's just from all the movement going on in the bed. That's when I wake up and I see Lisa on top of her.
What is she doing?
She's like with the knife coming down like this. one thought it was a knife. That's why I pushed Lisa off of her.
And what happens when you push Lisa off of her?
I mean, just my reaction was just push her, and I pushed her hard, and her and Marcella like tumble over and fall towards where the window's at right there. They fall towards the end of the bed.
Right here?
Yes, ma'am. But like towards more towards the corner.
This way?
Yes, ma'am.
And what happens next?
Lisa still has a hold of her. As I get up, I'm still trying to process what the hell's going on. I see Lisa still grabbing her. I jump over the bed, and as I come over the bed, I'm trying to pry Lisa off of her, pull her apart, and Lisa got to like her hair or something to where she can't. She's trying to like get off of her, and I'm trying to pry them apart. You know how it's like if you hold something and somebody's trying to pull and you like let it go.
Yes.
Like she, Marcella just ends up as I'm pulling them off. It's like Lisa just kind of like let go, and she just tumbles over. She tumbles over and she falls on the bed. I mean, that's why I look behind me. She falls on the bed, and I look towards Lisa, and I grab Lisa, and I pin her to the wall, and I'm like, what the F are you doing, you know? And she's like, I told you not to bring any more girls over here.
What else did she say?
She's like, I'm tired of this.
And you can quote, if you need to say a curse word to quote, you can, I want you to quote and tell this jury exactly what you remember Lisa saying to you.
She just said that I told you not to bring any more girls over here while you're disrespecting us. I do everything for you. And she was just like, you need to get your little
Say
bitch, and y'all need to leave now. I need to leave.
it. And what were you doing? What were you saying?
I was just like, that's all you had to fucking say, you know? Excuse my
It-
French.
That's all right, just, you may continue.
What did you say to her?
That's what I said. I said, that's all you have to fucking say, you know? And as I turn around, I'm fixing to tell Maricela, like, let's go. And she's just there.
Just there?
Just lifeless, like, gone. Just blood all over her. Like, I didn't know what to do.
So what did you do?
I mean, I just woke up to this, so it's still like, I'm not even registering everything. In my mind, I'm like, this can't be happening. I go to the restroom, I come out of the room, and I come to the restroom, turn the light on, I throw water on my face, trying to like, tell myself like, wake up, you know, like this is not happening. Throw water on my face, and that's when I realized I'm still naked. I drop the towel, put the towel on, come back in, and Lisa's just still standing there, like just looking at her, just staring at her, just laying there.
Staring at Maricela?
Yes, and I could hear her saying something. I can't recall what she's saying, but it sounds like she's saying like, what did I do? And as I come in, like I see the whole scene again, and I yell at Lisa. I'm like, Lisa, and she's like, it's not snapping out of it. She's just like staring. I'm like, Lisa. I'm like, we have to fucking call. Excuse my French. I'm so
Keep
sorry.
going, that's fine.
No,
Go
I'm
ahead.
so sorry.
Go ahead. What do you tell Lisa?
I'm like, Lisa, we have to call 911. And she was like, no, like hold on, think about what you're doing before you do it. And to me, like registering that, I was just thinking about the whole scene. Like, I'm with her, I'm the last one with her. She's in my room. You know, it looks like I did something. So I'm like, well, you need to figure this shit
You
out.
can say, if you're quoting yourself, Mr. Beltran, you can say it. Okay, I want you to tell this jury exactly what you're thinking, the words you're thinking, and what you're saying to Lisa. Okay?
yeah, I was just like, you need to figure this shit out. You told me to fucking leave, like, you did this shit, like, you need to, I'm gone, you know what I'm saying? I can't deal with this, like, it was just so much to deal with, and I put my clothes on and grabbed my stuff and left.
And the clothes you're talking about, you came in and where were your clothes?
Well, my dresser was right there, so I just grabbed some stuff out of my dresser real quick, put it on.
Did she ask you to do anything when you told her to figure this shit out?
When I was leaving, when I told her, I was like, I can't deal with this shit. She was telling me like, grab Nina, and tell Nina to come in here. And that's when, like, right when I was leaving, the door right here, like I said, their room is right here, so their door was open, and right before I was leaving, Nina, I could see Nina in the bedroom, just in the bed.
And what
right
is
there,
she-
Right there.
Where's her bed? Right there?
It's like the end, yes ma'am.
Okay. And you said the door was open?
Yes ma'am. This one right here.
And we're pointing at States Exhibit 33. You said the door was open and you could see Nina in there?
Yes ma'am.
I'm sorry, 334. States 334. The door was open, you said,
Yes ma'am.
and you could see Nina?
Mm-hmm.
And what did Nina look like?
I mean, from what I seen, she looked spooked too. She just looked like real spooked. Like,
What'd you say?
I'm pretty sure she heard what the hell was going on.
And what did you say to Nina?
I was just like, hey, I was like, Nina, Lisa wants you. I was like, I'm gone. I'm leaving. Like, and that's when I left.
And you left out of the garage, right?
Yes ma'am.
And you left in your Audi.
Yes ma'am.
We'll talk about what you did after the Audi here in a minute. I just want to show you a few photographs. This is States 248. Does that look like a picture of your empty bedroom, right? Is it hard to say without
Yeah,
your
it's hard to say because
furniture?
it kind of looks like the, yeah.
Okay. Let's look at States 274. Is that any easier to tell?
It's still kind of hard. I mean,
Okay.
looks like it though.
Looks like it though?
Yes ma'am.
So if that's your bedroom, which wall, would it be this wall that your bed's on or this wall?
The first one that you pointed to. Yes,
This
ma'am.
side?
Yes ma'am.
Okay. And so y'all would have been, the bed would have extended out this way and you said that Maricela was on your left side?
Yes ma'am.
Okay, and you would have pushed Lisa and Maricela off into the floor
Just
over
don't
here.
object to the council pleading, she's.
Sustained, don't leave.
Okay. Which side was Maricela on?
She was on the left side.
And where did you push them off to?
The left side. That's where they rolled off to.
Okay, can you turn around and look up there on the TV screen, just point to the area where they landed?
And then all right here.
Okay. And States 274. Would you say that's consistent with the area that they landed?
Yes ma'am.
States 276. Does that appear to be the same area?
Yes ma'am.
But when you lived there, there was carpet there?
Yes, that's why it looks different.
Now, you said you left in the Audi. Did you have a plan? Did you have any idea what you were gonna do?
I'm still trying to process everything as just happened.
Okay, do you recall about what time, in the morning? Let me go back just a minute, I don't think I asked you this. Did Lisa have blood on her?
Yes, ma'am.
Where did she have blood?
She had like a white nightgown little thing, and it was all over her.
All over the front of her?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see Maricela? You said you turned and looked over your shoulder. Did you see Maricela?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see where her injuries were?
Not her injuries. I just seen blood.
Where did you see blood?
It was just all over her,
And you're pointing to all over,
like her chest area, all right here.
okay, her chest area and all over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you left the house in the Audi. You recall about what time?
It was still kind of like dark, so it was like becoming morning, I guess.
About dawn?
Dawn, indeed.
Okay. And where did you go?
I went to my girlfriend's house.
Did you go in?
No, ma'am.
What'd you do there?
I just sat in the parking lot. I was sparking up a little piece of blunt. I'm still trying to process everything that happened.
And during that time, did you think about calling the police?
No, ma'am.
What'd you do next? I mean, about how long did you stay in the apartment, parking lot?
Stayed there for quite a bit.
And do you recall what you did after that?
I was just trying to figure out everything to get my mind off of what just happened because I'm still trying to process everything. So I know what happened, but it's like in my mind, I'm like, it didn't happen. You know, I'm like, that couldn't have happened,
But it did happen.
but it did happen. Yes, ma'am.
Did you go get an oil change after that?
Yes, ma'am.
At the Take 5 oil change off of Lemon?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was, you recall about what time?
It was still early morning, still morning time. Like I said, I'm trying to do everything to get my mind off of what just happened.
What'd you do after the oil change?
After the oil change, I went to Dax's house.
And did you ever reach out to Nina or Lisa that day?
No, ma'am.
Do you recall if they ever tried to call you?
No, ma'am.
What'd you do that night?
I think I met up with one of my friends.
You remember which friend?
Melanie.
Madeline?
Melanie.
Okay. And what did you and Madeline do?
Well, I was supposed to meet up with her the night I met Maricela, but of course I was with Maricela, so I had
I mean, you ghosted her, right?
ghosted.
Madeline.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you met up with Madeline that night.
Yeah, I had to, of course, make that up. So, like, I'm still trying to get everything out of my head. So I hit her up, and we ended up meeting up.
And looking back on it now, can you see how shallow and selfish that sounds?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Pittman, go ahead and mark your spot. We've been having testimony for about 2 hours. We will go ahead and take a 10-minute morning break.
All rise.
Yes, sir. Can you check your connections? It wasn't working.
No way. That's Exactly. Anything?
Hold on. Yes, it's working. All right.
Make sure, yes,
10
no,
minutes. No more.
no, it's, you can screw that up, okay? It's not normal conversation, it's tough, but if you're quoting someone, you yourself, someone else, you have,
Is there any
it's just a response right now. Yeah, makes sense? You're all right, just take a deep breath,
No, I mean, I just.
okay? Yes. If you need direction, you're gonna be going probably another hour, so where ain't your follow up? Follow up.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay.
Yeah, I get it. He's gonna say it back. I was gonna say if you can talk to him.
Go to the bathroom.
No, no.
You sure?
I thought you said you.
Any questions?
Yeah.
I know it's intense.
Hold on for a second, hold on. Hold on.
You want to come up first? Yeah, 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 really. Yeah. You sure you don't want to go to that? Okay. I have that's it.
I gave you time.
Let me call you and see if you can do that. You want me to have him? He's going over it now, because I told him I think she did. No.
So, hot seat. It's gonna get out here in a minute. Just tell the truth. You wouldn't be here for the next one.
Thank you, you may be seated. All right, let's, get the jury lined up and ready to go. Mary, that outfit is gorgeous.
Oh,
I love the tone on tone. It's just, that's why I kept looking at you. I'm like, God, I love that outfit.
oh, thank you.
I think it would look good on me too.
Yes, it would.
Say we should go shopping, but I have to pull that off. Can't get full off my Macintosh.
I know, maybe if I was 15 years younger.
Oh,
That we're all in that same age group, all of us.
Yes. Now, Myra's much younger.
Yes, 25.
Don't crack it right enough for him. Okay. We're ready, Mr. Sadler.
All rise.
Chuck, we left off and you said that you, were hooking up with Medlin to kind of make up for the night before, and I asked you, did you understand just how that looks?
Yes, ma'am.
How does that look?
hold on. Mr. Wood, you moved the microphone when you were speaking with the witness, if you could put it back so that it's toward his mouth, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Wood. All right, Ms. Pittman, you may continue.
Thank you, Ron. How does that look?
Messed up. Selfish. I didn't know what to do.
You're trying to just get it out of your mind?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see anything like that ever before?
Never.
So take Madeline, where do you take her?
We rent a room right behind Dax's apartment.
Stay the night with her?
Yes, ma'am.
And what'd you do the next day?
We just hang out.
Did you hang out with Madeline? Did you hang out with your friends? Who'd you hang out with?
With Melanie?
Did you tell her anything about what had happened?
No, ma'am.
Did you hear, do you remember when you started hearing from Lisa again?
It was like days after.
Did you talk to her at all, and, I mean, you didn't talk to her at all in between?
No, once you did that and made the comment to leave, I mean, I didn't want to talk. I had nothing to talk about with her.
Do you remember if she started trying to call you?
Yes, ma'am.
And did she try to call you several times?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you answer?
Eventually I did.
At some point in the days after, did you talk to her?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you talked to her, was Nina on the phone as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did y'all say? What was the conversation?
They were just asking me where have I been, am I okay, come back home, everything's okay.
And when they said come back home, what did they tell you about how the home was?
They said, that's it home, everything's good, just come home.
Did they tell you what happened to Maricela?
No, ma'am, but I mean, I figured.
Did you return back to the house?
Eventually I did.
And what did you do when you returned?
I didn't want to be around them, so I went when they weren't there. I packed some clothes and stuff and left.
What'd your room look like?
Spotless. Like that's never happened.
When you saw Maricela, you looked over your shoulder and you saw her bleeding from here. You said lifeless. Did you know she was dead?
I mean, I've never seen a person dead before in movies, but I mean, it looked to what I've seen. There was nothing I could do.
So when you went back to the house, you said it was spotless.
It's completely clean, like bed made, everything was how I usually leave it.
What'd you do all that week?
The club was, this is during the whole, I guess, pandemic stuff was starting to die down, and the club was starting to open back up. So, like, me and Dax and the people that work at the club were meeting up at the bar to figure out what we're gonna do to open up.
Were you going about your business, trying to act normal?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell anybody what had happened?
No, ma'am.
In fact, what did you tell Dax? You actually saw Dax the day after you saw Maricela murdered. What did you tell him about Maricela?
I mean, he asked, I mean, just homeboy to homeboy, he asked what we did that night. And I told him, you know, we had sex. And after that, I dropped her off. And, you know, was it.
Why didn't you want to tell Dax?
I don't know how you tell somebody who's witness to somebody murdered like that, you know?
Why didn't you call the police then?
Scared.
In the days after, I mean, we're talking, you know, several days after you're just going about your business. Did you ever think about calling the police later down the road?
I've always had it in the back of my mind, but I always thought that it would be pointed to me.
Why'd you think that?
I mean, they're attorneys, they have good jobs, they don't have no record. I mean, I look like the bad guy. I was scared.
Without Lisa, did you have any money, any means to travel or anything like that?
Oh, that was my source of income.
At some point, did you become aware that your face was being, you know, kind of blasted out there as the last person to be seen with Maricela?
Yes, well, first, as I'm going to the club and stuff, trying to open up, Freddie comes around and shows me the missing photo of Maricela. He's like, hey, this looks like the girl that you were with, you know? He's like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, man, it's messed up. You know, I know.
And after you found that out from Freddie, what did you do?
I go to my friend B's house, and I talked to him about, like, man, I said, I kind of wanted to tell him, but I just didn't know how. So I was just like, man, I'm going through some stuff right now, bro. Like, I don't know what to do. You know, like, I need to figure something out. And he's like, man, like what's going on? And stuff. I'm like, it's hard to say. I need to figure something out. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, like, can you hit up our boy in New Orleans? I was like, I just need to duck off somewhere to figure something out, you know? And
So did you go to New Orleans?
yes, ma'am.
Who'd you go to New Orleans with?
Melody,
And how'd you guys get there?
we drove
Whose car?
the Tucson, Lisa's.
And so you drove the Tucson. Did you go back to the house to get the Tucson? How did you get to Tucson?
We met up and switched cars.
Who's we?
Me and Lisa.
And
Lisa called me, and she told me about, because my face was on the news and stuff, and she was like, hey, like, bring me the car. I don't want you to get caught up for anything you didn't do. You know, you might get busted in the car, so bring it to me, and I'll take care of it. So we switched cars.
so you and Madeline go to New Orleans in the Tucson, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you get to New Orleans, well, let me back up just a little bit. At some point, did you get a phone call from Lisa maybe about 10 days or so after you saw this happen. Did you get a phone call from her, where she told you that the FBI contacted her?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did she tell you?
She just said that, they reached out to her looking for me.
And what did she tell you? Did she tell you to do anything?
Yeah, that's why I went to New Orleans. She told me to get out of the city.
So after Lisa contacted you about the FBI, did she claim at all that she thought that was a fraudulent call? Did she say that she didn't think it was really the FBI?
Not that I remember.
But she told you to get out of town
Yes, ma'am.
and told you to bring the Audi so y'all could switch so you didn't get caught up in that car.
Yes, ma'am.
Because the Audi was on blast too, wasn't
Yes, ma'am.
it? Okay. So you and Madeline take the Tucson to New Orleans, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And where were y'all gonna stay?
Well, Lisa was funding me money to move around. She told me to get an Airbnb out there and just wait right there until she gave me word.
And the Airbnb, who booked that? Was it in your name or Madeline's name?
Madeline,
When you get to the Airbnb, what happens?
stay there, I think like not even 2 nights. And we stayed there one night, and then the next day, she told me about the Tucson now. I need to get rid of the Tucson.
Who tells you?
Lisa,
And did you get a phone call from Dax during that time period too?
not that I remember.
So you talk to Lisa, Lisa tells you to get rid of the Tucson, so what's the plan?
At this point, I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of Tucson now. So she told me, me and Madeline talked because Madeline left her car back in Dallas. So Lisa told me to tell her to take the car to the house, drop the car off, and have Madeline come back and pick you up. So that's what we did.
Had you told Madeline what was going on at that time?
No, she asked, but
What'd you tell her?
I was just like, man, I was like, I don't know.
When she brought the car back, did she pick you up?
Who?
Madeline, I'm sorry. Did Madeline pick you up back in her car?
Yeah, well, after the Airbnb, like I told you before I left, I talked to my homeboy, Brian, and he ended up hitting up my homeboy that stayed in New Orleans. So when we left the Airbnb, that's why I ended up going to. So I was staying there, and when she left to go take the Tucson, Madeline came back to that same spot and met up with me there.
And what did you and Madeline do after that?
We stayed there about a week. Lisa said she's gonna make a call, and she's gonna tell me when it's safe to like move around. And so I finally get the call, and she was like, "Hey, meet us in Pennsylvania, but make sure you don't let the girl come. You know where we're at." So I was like, okay.
Okay. So while you were in New Orleans, when you left Texas with Madeline, and probably right after you left, you had a phone with phone number 214-600-0181. Does that sound familiar?
I can't remember. It was
How many phones and phone numbers do you think you've had during that time period, if you can even guess?
I mean, I changed a lot. I break them, buy a new one. So I changed them a lot.
Before you went to New Orleans, did you get rid of that phone and get a new one?
Yes, ma'am.
So when Lisa is calling you, she's not calling you on the phone that you had here at that time.
No.
Now, Lisa tells you that she's going to give you a call and tell you where to go. Where did she tell you to go?
To Pennsylvania to meet her and Nina.
And did you and Madeline drive up there?
Yes, ma'am.
And how was the ride?
Cool, I guess.
It was okay?
Yeah.
Was it quiet?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you nervous?
Yes, ma'am.
Paranoid?
Everywhere I was going, yes, ma'am. I mean, my face was on the news and stuff, so.
At any time, if Madeline wanted to leave, could she have left?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, she drove you up to Pennsylvania. Do you know where in Pennsylvania you went?
No, like I said, I was just listening to Lisa's instructions. She was just telling me to get a hotel somewhere and that they were gonna pick me up from there. She didn't want her to know where Lisa and Nina stayed.
She didn't want who to know.
She didn't want Melanie to know.
Okay, where Lisa and Nina stayed in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, she didn't want her to know where their house was.
Yes, ma'am. So she told me to get dropped off at a hotel, stay there, tell Melanie to go back home, and then they're gonna pick me up from the hotel.
Okay, and did that happen?
Yes, ma'am.
And where did you go after that?
They picked me up and took me to the house in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Did you all stay in Pennsylvania?
Yes, for a little bit.
And then where did y'all go?
Well, I stayed there a couple days by myself. They left. I don't know where they went. They flew somewhere or went somewhere. And then when they came back, they had this whole plan on let's go to Mexico.
Okay. Did you have a passport?
No, ma'am.
How'd you get a passport?
Nina and Lisa set that all up.
Where'd y'all go to get a passport?
We drove to Buffalo.
And did y'all stay for a while in Buffalo?
Yes, ma'am. Rented a couple hotels. I mean, they were taking me to sightseeing and stuff and do all this.
How'd that make you feel going sightseeing?
I was pissed at them. I was so mad because I was like, I'm trying to figure out this. Once I got linked up with them, I'm trying to figure out how to clear my name from this because I'm literally kind of blackmailing Lisa now. Like, hey, you know what you did? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you sending me out here? She's like, just chill. We're gonna get all this cleared for you. We're gonna get all this cleared.
Now, you had a passport appointment, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have to go once or twice to the passport office?
Twice.
You went the first time, what happened?
Nina had already had all the paperwork filled out and stuff, so I just went there. I already had a picture taken and stuff, so I just had to sign some papers. And,
Go ahead, I'm sorry, Mr. Beltran, go ahead.
Yeah, I had to sign some papers and stuff, and then there was a reason why I couldn't get it. I guess they didn't have enough information, so they told me I had to get something and come back.
Now, let's switch back real quick to your first, Megan, the mother of your first child, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Did she put you on child support?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever pay child support?
No, ma'am.
Were you aware that if you, have a backlog of child support, that you can't get a passport? Did you know that?
No, ma'am.
Did you pay off your back child support?
No, ma'am.
Do you know who did?
Yes, ma'am.
Who paid off your back child support?
Nina.
Do you have any idea how much child support you owed?
Well, after the whole payment thing was going on, they told me
How much?
it was like 20 grand,
20 grand?
20, 30, like somewhere around there. But they said that they would lift it or something if they pay like half of it,
Okay.
majority of it
They would lift the passport.
to them to get a passport. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, were you able to get a passport?
Yeah. After they made the whole call to do all that. Yes, ma'am.
And so at the second appointment, did that process go through?
I didn't go in because, like I said, they needed some additional information. So Nina went in for me, and she acted as my attorney or cousin or something, and she ended up getting the passport.
They had mentioned they wanted to go to Mexico, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Was this a vacation? Was this to stay? Did you know?
Well, I mean, to them, they were portraying to me like, hey, like, just to clear your mind, so you won't think about stuff and watch your back this whole time while we're trying to figure how to clear your name from this. We're gonna go to Mexico, where, of course, like, I guess my face won't be over there in that country or state.
How'd you get to Mexico?
We drove.
And do you remember when you went to Mexico? You remember how long you stayed?
Say about 3 weeks
About 3 weeks
to a month.
to a month?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when they first took you down to Mexico, did they stay with you the whole time?
No, ma'am.
What did they do?
They left.
And did they drive or did they fly?
They flew. They said they had to take care of some stuff back in the States, which I didn't understand. They left and stayed there.
What car did you guys drive down there?
The Maserati.
The Maserati?
Yes, ma'am.
And then at some point, do you know what happened to the Audi?
No, ma'am.
At some point, did you get a new car?
Yes, ma'am.
What'd you get?
A Jeep Wrangler.
Okay. Did they bring that Jeep down to you in Mexico?
Yes, ma'am.
Chuck, I'm showing you, this has been marked States 300. This is the second page of States 300. Does that appear to be that same Jeep?
Yes, ma'am.
And then at some point, you all drove back. You said you stayed down there about 3 weeks to a month.
Yes, ma'am.
Looking
Maybe
at the
longer.
fir-
I can't really remember. It was quite a bit of time.
And looking back at States 300, the first page, that's you, Charles Anthony Beltran, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you crossed back, you said you drove back from Mexico into the United States, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Did y'all have one car or two cars?
2 cars.
What 2 cars did you have?
The Maserati and the Jeep.
Who rode in what car?
Me and Lisa was in the Jeep, and Nina was in the Maserati.
Have you ever seen that document before?
No, ma'am.
So you crossed over from Mexico to the United States. Do you remember where, like what state you crossed over into?
No, ma'am.
Where did you guys go after you came back from Mexico?
Whichever side, cause we stayed in Albuquerque, New Mexico, so whatever side that side is, that's what side we left on.
Okay, that's the side you came in on is near Albuquerque.
That's the side we, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so after you came back across the border, did you guys go to Albuquerque
Yes, ma'am.
and you stayed there?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did you stay there?
Just a night, just to rest, and then get back on the road.
And then where'd you go?
Their plan was to go to Miami.
Did you go with them?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you got to Miami, how long, do you remember how long that took to get to Miami?
Some days, we would just stop, rent a hotel, and keep on going. We'll rent a hotel for the night.
I mean, so you guys are on the run, it seems like.
Yes, ma'am.
When you
Well,
got to
me,
Miami,
to me, it was me on the run because my face was on the thing. So they were just comfortable with trying to go out to eat and all this stuff, and I wasn't.
and at that point, I mean, you still hadn't told anybody what happened.
I mean, I'm just with them now. Like I'm not talking to nobody.
Were you relying on them to take care of you?
Well, in Mexico, there was a whole ordeal where, because after the whole thing with Maricela happened and she told me to leave, like the dynamic of us, our relationship just, so we knew that we were going to separate from each other, but I was staying with them because they kept on telling me that they were going to clear my name from this. They even contacted a lawyer, had me on speakerphone with them, telling me about that I'm good to move around work out.
Talking about your social media, this is kind of early on, we're going back. Did you get some instructions from Lisa about what to do with your social media?
Yeah, sure. That's why the phone call with the lawyer. I don't even know if it was a real lawyer or not. I don't know. But he was basically saying that I'm good to keep on doing your social media things and all that stuff. So yeah, she would just tell me to keep post like I'm just living life, like nothing's going on.
Like nothing's going on?
Yes, ma'am.
And would you post old videos and things like that that made it appear you were in Dallas?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, getting back to Mexico, we kind of skipped over the part of Mexico. Were they there with you the whole time in Mexico?
No, ma'am.
How long do you think you were there by yourself?
Stayed there about a week by myself.
At some point, did you have somebody come visit you in Mexico?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was that?
Madeline.
Okay, and how long did she stay with you?
She stayed about a week. About a week.
And why did she leave?
Well, the first time she left, because she left 2 times.
Okay,
So the first time she left, I knew that Lisa and Nino was coming back. And she always talked about her uncle living in Mexico, and she wanted to visit him. So when she came to see me, and when I knew Lisa and Nino was coming back, I told her, I was like, hey, like, why don't you go meet up with your uncle and stuff, and later on I'll come meet you at your uncle's house and stuff. I was just trying to get her away from them two.
okay,
I didn't want them two to see her with me over there.
okay. And something happened when she went to go visit her uncle with her car, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you have to go pick her up?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any idea what town you were in when you had to pick her up?
It was a town like right next to the town where we were in San Carlos, and it was like literally like it's a highway that not even a highway, it's like a little freeway. You just hit the corner and you're in a whole other little area. Oh, I forgot what it's called though.
Okay. And so you picked her up from there,
Yes, ma'am.
and you took her back to San Carlos with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Were Nina and Lisa on the way? Were they coming in?
Yes, ma'am.
And what'd you do about that issue?
About what? Like,
About meddling and having meddling there with Lisa and Nina?
I was just trying to figure out how to get Melanie out of there. Because of the whole situation that happened with Maricela.
And how did you get her out of there?
Well, Lisa be having she has these crazy dreams sometimes, and she be telling me about them. And one day we were talking.
So them junkies being non-responsive, that's how she gets melanin out. I'll call this a stream.
Sustained is non-responsive.
And I don't want you to tell me about that part right now, okay? We might get back to that, but were you able to get Medellin
Yes, yes, ma'am.
out of there?
Yes, ma'am.
Did Lisa see her? Did she know she was there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did Medellin come and hang out with everybody, or did you keep her off in your room?
Yeah, I kept her in her room.
At some point, I mean, was she there very long at the same time with Nina and Lisa?
No, it was like literally like one night.
Okay, and how did you get Medellin to wherever she needed to go?
I got her a little bus ticket, and I told her again I'll meet her. I'll meet her later on, and then dropped her off at the bus place. She ended up going to I forgot where she was going, but she ended up leaving.
Okay. And she had family down there in Mexico, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, I kind of backtracked a little bit, but you were telling the jury about traveling from Albuquerque to Miami. Where did you all stay when you got to Miami? Where did you all stay? I'm sorry, where did you all stay when you got to Miami?
They rented a hotel. It was like one of the like long stay hotels. We stayed there for a couple nights, and then it was like low budget, so they didn't want to stay there too long. So they ended up looking for an apartment, and they ended up finding an apartment, and we moved in there.
Okay, so when you moved into the apartment, did y'all have furniture? Or did they have to go buy furniture?
They ended up leaving, and I guess they ended up getting the furniture from Pennsylvania and bringing it to.
To the apartment?
Yes, ma'am.
You know what happened to all the furniture that was in the Kensington house?
No, ma'am.
So they brought the, furniture from Pennsylvania, moved into Miami. Do you recall the name of the apartment complex?
Yes, ma'am. It's called Parks at Kendall.
And, how long did you stay there?
Mm, 3 weeks, somewhat.
3 weeks to a month? Okay. Were they there with you?
Well, at first, like, there was no furniture in there, so they left. Like I said, they left, they went to Pennsylvania, picked up all the furniture, and drove it back to Miami.
And after they drove that furniture back to Miami, were they there most of the time?
Yes, ma'am.
What were you doing during that time?
I mean, I never been in Miami, so I'll just kind of just take a drive and see everything.
Okay. Were you concerned about your face being out there?
Yes, ma'am.
Now in Miami, you met somebody, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Who did you meet?
Nicole.
And how'd you meet Nicole?
I was in a grocery store, and we walked down the aisle, and I seen her. She seen me, and we started talking.
And what happened from there?
I mean, we exchanged numbers, you know, and she was asking where I'm from.
What'd you tell her?
I told her Pennsylvania. I didn't want to tell her Texas because my whole face was on the news and stuff, so I told her Pennsylvania. And
What'd you tell her your name was?
Antonio,
Antonio?
yeah, which is my name anyway in Spanish, so
Okay. Your middle name?
yes, ma'am.
Did you guys start kind of spending some time together?
Yeah, not right off the rip, but it was like a couple days past. We would text each other and, you know.
Did you bring her up to the house?
Yes, ma'am.
And were Nina and Lisa there when you took her to the house?
No, not at the beginning. Like I said, they were gone. They left for that like week or so. So I had to burn to myself.
You had mentioned before that the relationship between you and Lisa and Nina had changed quite a bit. Was there any, did you trust them?
No.
When you were in Miami, did you ever bring Nicole over to the apartment when Lisa and Nina were there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, had you done anything to kind of make yourself feel more secure in the house?
Yes, ma'am.
What'd you do?
I just made sure that I was up, stayed by the door. I actually put a whole table in front of the door so I could block it. Just to be aware of what's going on around me.
Did you put any cameras up?
Yes, ma'am.
And
I had the ring, the little ring, I don't know what they're called. They're like small little like desktop little, you can just sit on anything.
at some point, did Nicole, back to the cameras, how many cameras do you think you put up?
I put up 2. I put up one like leading toward to the door, and then cause how the apartment was set up, when you walk into the door, there's a restroom to the left, like right when you come in, and that restroom leads to the bedroom right there. And then, it's a hallway straight, so I got one camera coming this way, and then the other way to get to from the room to the living room, there's another door on the opposite side, so I put another camera from the refrigerator right here to that door.
And, what would they do with the cameras?
When I leave, they'll like turn them down.
How'd that make you feel?
I mean, I was mad 'cause I wanted to see what was going on. I wanted to make sure, just keep watch on them. And, when I confronted them about it, they were like, well, it feels like we're being watched, so we turn them down.
At some point, did Nicole know, did she learn her true name?
Yes, ma'am.
And, when she learned that, what did she ask you?
She had nothing.
She didn't ask you anything about it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. At some point, did you leave Miami?
Yes, ma'am.
Why'd you leave Miami?
Just the trust of them. When they did the whole camera thing, I just didn't know what they were talking about, what was being said. So the reason I stuck around was because, like I said, they were already promised me to clear my name from this, and we were gonna part ways because they were gonna sell this house. So money was involved too, which is selfish of me. But I wanted this money too, so.
So the plan was to sell the house in Pennsylvania, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And, at that point, there was gonna be some sort of split of the money?
Yeah, they were gonna go their way. I was gonna go my way, and that was the plan.
What were you being told about the sale of the house in Pennsylvania?
They were just telling me that the amount that it could sell for, and the amount that I could get, and they just kept telling me to wait till the house sells. You know, like, we got you. Just keep calm, because, like I said, it's selfish of me that I was doing this, but I was using it as blackmail a little bit to get the money.
Okay. And did you ever get any of that money?
No, I didn't even know the house sold.
You left Miami, where did you go?
I went to New Orleans, back to New Orleans.
Back to New Orleans?
Yes,
Did you
ma'am.
stay in New Orleans for a while?
Stayed there for a couple of days, and then it was just getting to be a lot, doing all this back and forth, running, ripping and running. So I had on my mind that I wanted to turn myself in, and I came to Dallas.
And who did you come see in Dallas?
A couple of my friends,
And who else did you see?
a couple girls that I used to deal with.
Okay, and, did you stay with some of them?
Yes, ma'am.
At some point, did you, go see Jasmine?
Yes, ma'am.
And Jasmine is the mother of your younger daughter, Charlie, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And, you and Jasmine, I guess kind of tell the jury a little bit about your relationship with Jasmine.
It was love because I didn't have my kid around, so when she had a son, and I know how it is, like, for a boy not to have his dad around, because I went through that. So her giving me the chance to even take care of her boy was like a lot to me. So I always had that love for her son, and them as a whole. So it was just that I just was living this crazy club lifestyle too. So it's just I wanted the family thing, but I was tied into both of these lifestyles. I couldn't just be that man for her.
And so, is Jasmine somebody you trusted?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go to Jasmine?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did y'all talk about?
Well, we haven't talked since the whole club thing when I walked away from her. We haven't talked since then, and I just didn't know how to get in contact with her.
And, were you able to get in contact with her?
Yes, ma'am. I went to her apartment and knocked on the door. Of course, I was like, what the heck am I doing? Because was still kind of spooked from everything. So like I just left. Yeah, I still didn't know how to get in contact with her, so I bought like a little like bear, little stuffed bear, and I just threw it in like her back patio, and I could hit her back glass, and I put my phone number on there, and I was like, hey man, I really need some help, like hit me up, and so she hit me up
Okay, and, did you go to her house,
to her apartment.
to her apartment?
Yes ma'am.
And, did you guys talk?
Yes ma'am.
Did you stay there with her?
Yes ma'am.
How long did you stay there?
I stayed there a couple days.
What did you guys talk about?
She was just wondering what was going on with the whole thing, and like I said, I wasn't telling nobody anything. I was just like, man, like I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm just trying to clear my name from this stuff. You know?
So you didn't tell her what really happened?
No, ma'am.
Did you guys, did you talk about turning yourself in?
Yes, ma'am.
And why didn't you tell Jasmine what really happened?
I don't know. So,
And you talked about turning yourself in, is that right?
yes, ma'am.
Did she encourage you to do that?
Well, I was just battling between the two because I just didn't know what would expire from the whole ordeal, you know, and I didn't want to be put in jail for something I didn't do, so it was just a thing torn between the turning myself in and not turning myself in. So it wasn't like encouragement. She was just like, man, like whatever we need to do to figure out what's going on, then we'll do that.
Okay. And did you guys, leave Dallas area and go to New Orleans?
Yes, because she was getting calls from like the detectives now, and she was just getting spooked, and I didn't want her to get tied into all that nonsense either. So I was like, man, I need to find somewhere to just figure this out, man. Like, can you please just help me get somewhere I'll just figure this out, and then we can go from there.
Is this the first time that you had separated yourself from Lisa and Nina?
Well, I've separated like fully, or just
Well,
I
right.
did plenty of times though.
I'm saying that you chose to leave them for an extended period and you weren't gonna go back.
Yeah, well, I did a couple of times, but I ended up coming back because of course, I had a relationship with Nicole too, so that's what was drawing me back to Miami.
Okay.
But I would leave.
Okay. And so this time you left,
Yeah, this time I left for good though. Yeah.
okay, and where did you end up?
I ended up in Utah.
Okay, and then Jasmine had some family in Utah, some brothers.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you stay with them?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you recall how long you were in Utah before you got arrested?
Say like 4 or 5 days.
4 or 5 days?
Mm-hmm.
Sometime during in late March, do you recall having a text message conversation with Lisa?
Yes, ma'am.
And Lisa would call you lover, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What would you call her?
I call her lover too, or babe, or
Did you refer to her as mom sometimes?
yeah, we call her Mama Bear.
Mama Bear?
Yes, ma'am. Mom.
Based on that conversation, I mean, what did Lisa tell you?
She told me that Nina got picked up. That I hope she don't say anything about anything.
What else she said?
She wanted me to come meet her up. She wanted me to come pick her up, and she was just asking me like, "Hey, can you come get me? Can you come get me?"
And I mean, how did you respond?
Like I said, at this point, it was just I didn't want to be around them. I didn't trust them. I said it's selfish of me. I just wanted this money. I really did. And that's what I was asking. I was like, hey, like, the money, you know, like what's going on with this whole money thing. You know,
So you asked for some money, did you kind of lead her to believe you might meet up with her? If you could,
yes,
and you're in Utah, you said 4 or 5 days in this apartment. Did you talk to any of the people in the apartment about what you were running from?
no, they asked, but I was just like, man, I need to figure some stuff out, man. Like, it's difficult to talk about. And I mean, everybody that I was talking to about this stuff, like, I couldn't talk about it, but they knew I was in some trouble, because I was like, I can't talk to you about it, but I just need some help, you know?
Okay.
And they were all willing to,
And a lot of people willing to help.
they were willing to help.
When you get arrested, did you meet with a detective, female detective from Dallas?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember her name?
No, ma'am.
And was there a male detective in there too?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then when you got arrested, was it the same day that you got arrested that you talked to them, or were you in jail a day or two before?
I think I was in there for a day, then they came, I think they flew in the next day.
Did you agree to talk to them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you talked to them for a long time, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, did you have any idea, first of all, did you know whether or not Maricella's remains had been found?
No, ma'am.
And other than knowing you were the last person to be seen with her, did you have any other information about the case going on in Dallas
No, ma'am.
at that time?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You spent probably 2 hours talking to them, maybe a little over 2 hours, 2.5 hours talking to them. Does that sound about right?
Yes, ma'am.
You agreed to waive your rights and speak to them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When you first talked to them, you didn't tell them the truth, did you?
No, ma'am.
What'd you tell them?
Object to leaving.
Sustained, don't leave.
Yes, Your Honor. Did you tell them the truth?
No, ma'am.
What'd you tell them?
I was so mad about the whole situation, because they kept on, as soon as I got detained, like everything was hitting me at once. I'm like, I felt like they were just keeping me close, so I wouldn't say anything.
Who's they?
Lisa and Nina. So, once I got detained, like, I wanted to speak the truth, but I wanted to refrain me from being in the area of witnessing what I witnessed, because I know I could probably get charged, still being in my selfish ways, thinking about myself. I was trying to refrain myself from being in there. So, I told them,
Okay. Well, and you just watched the video recently, right?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you tell them in that first probably 45 minutes of the video, did you tell them that you even knew what happened to Maricela?
No, ma'am.
What'd you tell them that you thought happened?
I told them that I woke up, Lisa was coming in here with this knife, pushed him out the way. Nina was trying to bum rush in too. Pushed her out the way, and I left.
Did you tell the detective anything about what happened after that? Where you went or anything?
No, I just told him that I left and went to Dax's house.
At some point, do you recall the male detective talking to you about the charge that you were arrested for?
Yes, ma'am.
And he talked about the capital murder. Did he explain that to you?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he tell you?
That I could be looking at death penalty, life sentence. Like, here's your opportunity to tell us what's going on.
and you said that you watched your video. Based on that, did you right then start telling the truth?
Somewhat. Like I said, I was still being in my selfish ways of trying to clear my name from the whole being there and witnessing that. So I didn't tell him like that I was there. I was trying to tell him the truth about what was going on, but me not being in the present of what happened, so I wouldn't get in trouble.
At some point, you recall Detective Ramirez talking about your daughters in relation to Maricela and what you would want someone to do if that was your daughter. Do you recall that?
Yes, ma'am.
How did that affect you? Did that have an effect on you?
Yes, ma'am.
And what effect did that have?
I was just thinking about him. Like, I can't spend the rest of my life in here, you know? Like,
Did you decide at some point after that to tell the truth?
like I said, I mean, I'm trying to tell the truth in there. But again, I'm trying to make sure that I'm not getting charged or accused for anything that I didn't do. And so I'm trying to refrain from being in the present of that whole situation. So I'm telling the truth, but I'm taking myself out of like being there witnessing what I've seen. So I won't get charged for anything.
At some point, I think, do you recall if the detectives left?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you ask for them to come back?
Yes, ma'am.
And at that point, did you tell them what you witnessed Lisa do?
Yes, ma'am.
In that discussion, are they really pushing you hard? Do you remember Detective Ramirez's kind of demeanor?
Yeah, they were.
I mean, was she super aggressive? Beating on the table, yelling at you, things like that?
Nah, not like that, but she was trying to get some information out of me. She wanted to know.
Did you feel coerced in any way?
No.
You know what coerced means? I'm sorry. Did you feel forced to tell anything?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Pittman, if you could mark your spot, it is now 12:33. Well, that runs a little fast, but it's time for lunch. We will go ahead and take our lunch break. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, remember your instructions to not discuss any of the testimony that you've heard with each other or with anyone, or do any independent research online or anywhere else. We will be at recess and I expect you back in the jury room no later than 1:30 p.m.
All rise.
How did our other bailiff go? You may be seated. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're at lunch.